I want to talk about Daniel Cameron. I always tell you I give you tomorrow's news today. I spotted him right away. I think before anybody else, I spotted him right away because they were so busy. The news media was so busy running people down at the GOP convention. They didn't take the time to notice that Daniel Cameron got up and gave this terrific speech. It really was one of the highlights of the convention. And so he had an enviable task of coming out into what he knows is a tense situation governed by news media and BLM narratives. He knows that these narratives are going around. He knows the outrage is being spread. He knows the lawyer for Breonna Taylor has an interest in spreading outrage, and the news media has an interest in backing them up because they're leftist, or they think they're leftist. They think they're leftist until the mob shows up at their door. And so Cameron came out and did a great job of announcing the results of an actual investigation that showed that the police had not broken the law. And again, we're not quite sure yet whether this is pure tragedy. We don't exactly know what it was. But let's take a listen and a look at some of what Cameron said. This is cut 8.
Justice sought by violence is not justice. It just becomes revenge. And in our system, criminal justice isn't the quest for revenge. It's the quest for truth, evidence, and facts, and the use of that truth as we fairly apply our laws. Our reaction to the truth today says what kind of society we want to be. Do we really want the truth, or do we want a truth that fits our narrative? Do we want the facts, or are we content to blindly accept our own version of events? We as a community must make this decision.
Now, this guy is the real deal, and he could be a very, very major politician. Took courage. It takes courage. We've seen this, like the guy in Nevada who shot himself because the DA caved into the mob and charged him when he had committed an act of self-defense. This guy did not do this. Cameron did not do this. This is a guy with a real future, and you can bet there's going to be a push to get him out of office. You can bet, and I wouldn't be surprised if our old friend George Soros is behind it. Let us listen to one more thing, because this is an important point. These are local matters, right? If the cops are bad in a town, and that happens, there are bad police forces, just like they're bad everything else. If that's something that the locals deal with. What we're dealing with is a narrative being forced down from above on localities. That's what they're doing. They're coming into this town and saying, this is part of a nationwide story. It's not. The facts do not support that. And so basically, you have outside people, organized outside people, well-funded outside people, bringing violence to Louisville and basically catching up anybody who's local that they can into that maelstrom. So here he is talking about that. It's cut 9.
There will be celebrities, influencers, and activists who, having never lived in Kentucky, will try to tell us how to feel, suggesting they understand the facts of this case and that they know our community and the Commonwealth better than we do. But they don't. Let's not give in to their attempts to influence our thinking or capture our emotions. At the end of the day, it is up to us. We live here together. We work here and raise our families here together.
So immediately, the way you know that what he said is important and true is because CNN immediately went out to debunk it, specifically this. I mean, who can deny that celebrities who knew nothing about Louisville, who know nothing about this case, who didn't do the investigation, who haven't examined the papers in the investigation, who didn't even probably listen to this, who can deny that they are already on Twitter putting out, my heart breaks, the outrage. What do they know? They don't know anything. We know they don't know anything. We know they march to a strict leftist beat, and they never vary from it. So Laura Coates, the senior legal analyst at CNN, she comes out immediately and goes after this point that Cameron's making specifically because she knows it's true. It's cut 7.
It was not coincidental, nor was his statements about, don't let outsiders or celebrities or the media or influencers try to tell Kentucky people how to feel, that you should make sure that you are understanding these are all outsiders. These are all sort of triggering words for people, all hidden gestures to show that he was demonstrating that he was well aware of the talking points that are out there. And I found it very problematic, particularly given the great odds and lengths that he had went through, to talk about why he took so long to come to this conclusion, to put it before the grand jury, that he wanted to make sure that there was objectivity, that there was no hint of impropriety. Then you have a bullhorn in front of your face as you use these certain words.
How dare he? How dare he talk about objectivity and justice and reality and facts? Facts don't, my narrative doesn't care about your facts. My crazy, ideas don't care about your facts. Unbelievable. And you have to remember, this is a sign that they've got nothing beyond the violence. They've got the political power that when they can use it, and they've got the violence. I compare it to the Taliban, not because BLM is as bad as the Taliban, but because when they preach Sharia law, it sounds great. And people go, Sharia law, the injustices against Islam. But when they actually had the chance to govern, they turned Afghanistan and Syria and parts of Iraq, not just the Taliban, but Al-Qaeda as well and ISIS. They turned it into an apocalypse now scenario with heads on pikes and people being oppressed and beaten everywhere. Their arts have petered out on the left. Their governance has been shown to be nothing in their chazas and their chops. They've got nothing but terror. So they're terrorizing you in the name of terror, not in the name of justice. I hope you enjoyed this segment of The Andrew Klavan Show. You should know on September 28th, The Andrew Klavan Show will be moving from the Daily Wire channel to my exclusive YouTube channel, youtube.com/Andrew Klavan. So subscribe and ring the bell. You won't just get the show, you'll get exclusive content too.